Game 4, the contestants consisted of Tegan O'Sullivan, Shreya Yarlagadda, Just Bolson. I like that Shreya did the same pose as she did when she first appeared on Jeopardy. This is where I should mention where some of the contestants now go to university. Shreya's in Harvard University and Justin's in Brown University. Tegan O'Sullivan goes to American University, which sounds generic. Obviously, I'm familiar with Harvard and Brown. Both are some of the best schools in America, and probably the world. Turns out they're all private. I wonder if their initial appearances on Jeopardy helped them get accepted into the hardest schools to get into. Even Autumn Shelton went to Princeton, which is where Tara Yoshe went. After thanking Johnny Gilbert, my balanced instruction was, and welcome back to the high school reunion tournament. A true daily double and the only correct response in Final Jeopardy allowed Stephanie Pearson to come from behind and advance to the semifinals in yesterday's exciting game. We're hoping for another great matchup today as we welcome Justin, Shreya, and Tegan. More than 40 million people live in this DACA division, one of the 8 in this Asian country. Shreya wasn't answered, what is Bangladesh, which she pronounces Bangladesh. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced in Bengali, the main language spoken in Bangladesh. Bangladesh was also the answer to the Final Jeopardy question when Amy Schneider lost. This 400s BC physician had a school at cost where he taught for fees. No word on if he had a loan program. Tegan wasn't answered. Who is Hippocrates? Mayim told her, that's correct, Hippocrates. Tegan seemed nervous when she answered Hippocrates. I don't know if it's because of the pronunciation or whatever the reason. Tegan's anecdote was about her sister who couldn't be in the audience because she was filming a trivia show in Massachusetts. Funny how that works. Welcome back. We've got 3 underclassmen here. That's very exciting. Let's start with you, Tegan O'Sullivan from Watertown, Massachusetts. All of you have family here, but you have a sister who couldn't be here. Is that correct? Tegan answered, that is correct. So one of my sisters is here today, but the other one is back in Massachusetts actually filming a local trivia show. So it ended up being a funny coincidence that we fell on the same weekend kind of doing the same thing. Mayim told her, it runs in the family. Tegan said, I guess so. Mayim introduced Shreya's anecdote by saying she has a very prestigious extracurricular. As if going to Harvard wasn't prestigious enough. Shreya's anecdote was being the editor-in-chief for the Harvard International Review. Justin's anecdote was that he was in the gym on one of the leg machines when he received the news that he'd returned to Jeopardy. Tegan got the first daily double. Risk $2,000, unfortunately answered wrong and went down to $400. We have a theorem about this guy who was born in Iona around 570 BC. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. The answer was Pythagoras, known for the Pythagorean theorem. So here's a funny story. In the math classes I took in high school where the Pythagorean theorem came up, most of the students, and even the teacher, called it Pythagorean's theorem, as if the suffix-based eponym Pythagorean was his actual name. I never understood why that was so common. It would otherwise be Pythagoras' theorem. Funniest thing ever. Currently a chief part of the NFL, he threw for 5,052 yards and 41 TDs in his last year at Texas Tech in 2016. Tegan Buzzard answered, who is Mahomes? Before Mayim called her name. Then Tegan repeated, sorry, who is Mahomes? She does seem nervous. I hope she's okay. Look for clothes and shoes in this vivid purplish red name for an Italian town. Pantone named it 2023's color of the year. How is it 2023's color of the year if we're only in February? Not important. As soon as Tegan buzzed in, I thought, Tegan should know this, she's wearing the color right now. She answered, what is burgundy, which was actually incorrect. Then when no one else buzzed in, Mayim told them, it's actually magenta, now we know. Justin ended single Jeopardy winning $2,600. Tegan was in third place at $1,000, and Shreya was in the lead at $5,600. From the 16th to the 19th centuries, the Huron peoples were in conflict with this multi-tribe confederacy to the east. The answer was the Iroquois Confederacy, which I read about in my American literature class. Tegan got the first daily double in Double Jeopardy, weighted $2,000 again, and the question was easy for me. These Easterners were poised to invade Western Europe in 1241 when the death of their supreme leader called them back. Who were the Mongols? That took her to $5,000. A cluster of young stars. This group of astronomical siblings includes Electra, Maya, and Alcyone. They're known as the Seven Sisters, which no one answered. I wish this question came up when Maya Ray was playing. Electra, Maya, Alcyone. Justin got the second daily double in Double Jeopardy. He made it a true daily double, which Maya exclaimed, a true daily double. She was so surprised she couldn't even speak. The Daily Double was obvious as it was scary. With perihelion on July 28th, it will be seen again from Earth in 2061 when all of you are looking back on your youthful hopes. The answer was obviously, what is Halley's Comet, taking a score to $17,200. Now that I'm actually looking at the question again, instead of concentrating on the date, was Youthful Hopes deliberately added because this was the high school reunion tournament? Or was it originally with perihelion on July 28th, it will be seen again from Earth in 2061? Was when all of you are looking back on your youthful hopes added right before the taping? Growing up in an LDS family, it's not surprising that Stephanie Meyer attended this university in Provo. LDS being an abbreviation for Latter-day Saints, which is a fancy term for Mormon, would lead the answer to be Brigham Young University, which is where Ken Jennings also attended. BYU also came up in the first game of the 2022 Tournament of Champions. I wonder if Sharia was just as pressured as Megan to answer BYU, even when Ken wasn't hosting this particular game. Also, if this question came up just one day earlier, it would have included the namesake of Stephanie, who advanced to the semifinals. Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting is one of many, many hits by this flamboyant classic rocker. After Just Buzzin' answered, who was Elton John, Mayim added, that's right, he's a Sir Elton John, which I found funny. Who's the baddest? It don't matter cause we at your throats. This three-letter guy raps on Enemy, his collaboration with Imagine Dragons. Just Buzzin' answered, who's JID, which Mayim told him, that's right, you're excited about it too. Even funnier when Justin selected the You Seem Upset category immediately after, seeming excited instead of upset. Also, the question was difficult to read. I don't know who JID is. Here's one that got me excited. What doesn't kill you makes you... I almost said the title. What doesn't kill you makes you this. Oh, that's how excited I am. What doesn't kill you makes you this, sang Kelly Clarkson. It also makes a fighter. The answer was, what is stronger? I recently heard the song on the radio as often as I did in 2012 and 2013. I miss those times. Just ended Double Jeopardy winning $22,400. Shreya was in second place at $11,600, and Tika was in third place at $8,600. The final Jeopardy category was famous names. The question was, for a special 1970s cookbook, he provided one simple recipe, a can of Campbell's tomato soup and 2 cans of milk. I don't know of any famous chefs in the 1970s. All I know is that Gordon Ramsay was a kid at this time. The answer was Andy Warhol, which all 3 contestants answered correctly. Mayim also pronounced Warhol as Warhol, which some of the fans pointed out. I don't think it's that big of a deal. That is correct. Andy Warhol, in the 1960s, he very famously painted images of Campbell's soup cans, which were inspired by what he ate for lunch every day. Andy Warhol painting Campbell's soup cans sounds vaguely familiar now that she mentions it. Tegan wagered $3,002, taking her score to $11,602. Shreya wagered $10,001, taking her score to $21,601, almost exactly $10,000 more than Tegan's final score. Shreya's wager is based on Justin covering Tibet and answering wrong. Justin wagered $823, taking a score to $23,223 and is now a semifinalist. The overheard on set was titled 22323. The thumbnail said, a meaningful wager. Mayim asked, can I ask what your bid was? He answered, so this episode is airing on my mom's birthday, which is February 23rd. So my wager, 23223. So she'll get a nice little surprise when she's watching this. The video ends after Mayim tells Justin, that is really, really sweet. So her birthday's 2 days after Chris Panulo's girlfriend's Heather's birthday. Justin's also not the only one whose mom's birthday's in February. It was a sweet wager. I'm glad he won. And as always, thank you for watching.